Hop onto the shuttle bus this week as we discuss Humbug. We are your hosts, Faith and Sapph. Welcome to Shuttle Bus Podcast. Good evening. Welcome to the shuttle bus as we kick off the holiday season. We will have 3 holiday specials over the course of November and December, each one showcasing a different Owl City Christmas song. This week we will be discussing Humbug. I'm your host Faith, here with my wonderful co-host Sapph.
Hey, Faith.
Hello. Would you like to kick off our discussion on Humbug?
Absolutely. I've been really excited about this one because Humbug is one of my absolute favorite Owl City Christmas songs, and it just makes me really happy overall. So, I really like the build-up of the string instrument, kind of like a plucking in the beginning, and I feel like I've mentioned this in previous episodes, but Adam is an absolute master at layering and just in general making the song sound full. It's just the way he does things. I think it was actually on one of the Maybe I'm Dreaming episodes. It was I can't remember which song, but it was very cluttered almost, but it didn't sound displeasing to the ears. And I wouldn't say this is cluttered, but it's definitely that same sort of layering technique where he adds different things together and it just sounds good. You don't ever have an empty space for your ears to digest.
I think you make a good point with it being layered. Usually I like to jump in and start discussing the music part or the instrumental part because I love it. But today I'm actually kind of starting off with the general theme of the song because it's so cute. I love the thought of Adam making a song for Abby because I'm pretty sure at this point, yes, I know at this point they were dating. So most likely the quote unquote girl. And it's not, I'm sure it's probably one of those songs where it's not necessarily written about Abby, but probably more so, and it could have just be written just for the sake of it being kind of this cute, funny song. But I like to imagine him writing it with Abby in mind and him trying to figure out what is the perfect Christmas gift to buy for her because he can't find anything that's good enough to give her because nothing can perfectly show how much he loves her, which is just a cute thought.
Aw, that is so cute. And I know we see a lot of that being brought up later on. The theme of the song later on, we see a lot of that come up in the second verse and then finally near the end and everything. But I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Honestly, I feel so bad for this man because he's so stressed. Who can blame him? It's Christmas time. He's trying to find the perfect gift, and women are hard to shop for. As a lady, I know this is true. The opposite sex is hard to shop for. So, I don't know. I like that little tidbit though. I didn't actually know when I didn't actually know when Adam and Abby started dating, so that's really sweet. I don't know if it was specifically towards her or just to have a Christmas song, but I can absolutely see how it could be themed that way.
Yeah, I can't remember at the top of my head what year they started dating, but I know because when Humbug was released is when Adam had the blonde hair and Abby was the one who dyed it. Because I think it's so this is a little bit of a deep dive here for a second. There was a Reddit post at one point where somebody was talking about their experience at the cinematic tour and how they got to talk with Abby in line. And she was telling a story about how she was dyeing Adam's hair blonde because he always wanted to be blonde. So she was dyeing his hair. So that's how I know they were together. And also there's a picture somewhere out there on the internet of Adam with the blonde hair and with Abby's brother Billy and his wife. And so I know that's the time frame that they were definitely together within that time frame at least.
Aw, that's so cute. I didn't know that backstory. I love his little side note. I love his blonde hair era. He looks really good with it. So, yeah.
I don't know how I think the blonde hair compares to the brown hair. I don't know. They both look good, I think. But getting away from my little side note here, or my little tangent, one of the things, because you were talking about layers earlier, and one of the layers that's like mixed in there, that's my favorite, is the drums. I love how he goes pretty heavy on the cymbals. Like and I want to say like he goes like it's a snare drum he's using as well. Like the predominant like drum that you hear. I want to say the predominant drum that you hear is the snare drum. And like especially with him, especially with the cymbals, with how heavy he goes on the cymbals, it kind of gives it that sleigh bell sound. And that sleigh bell sound with like all the cymbals that are mixed in there and that snare drum and that mixed with like that twinkly synth, it just really gives the Christmas vibes. Like you can just listen to the music and know it's a Christmas song without hearing the lyrics at all.
Yeah, actually, that's something I was going to mention in my next point. I really like how it's a neat combination of contemporary and his, like, usual electronic style. And not only that, it really does go Christmas, hardcore Christmas. And you can hear the Christmas bells, and I really, like you said, twinkly. I think twinkly is a really good word for it. The synths, especially on that chorus. The chorus, it rocks. It rocks. It's all around just you hear it and you think this can't be anything other than Christmas. And he does a really, really good job of like blending the different combinations of styles and things. And I respect him for that for sure. Because, you know, you normally think about his electronic music and it would seem a little weird how you could create a Christmas song or how he could as a electronic artist. That's not something that you would normally put together. But I think it's really cool, and he does very, very well with it. If we're gonna compare like other works of his to like maybe this song, I would probably say cinematic would be like the most because it starts to introduce some acoustic instruments as well as the electronic and everything aspect.
Yeah, I think, see, that's a good point because I didn't think about that before, but now that you've compared it to like cinematic, that makes a lot of sense. So I was thinking about how like the kind of the vibe of the song. Most of his music, the way he sings it, it's almost like he's retelling a story or telling a fairy tale or something. It's very just like Adam's just telling a story, like a fairy tale kind of thing. But with this song, it kind of has that like vibe of him just like talking about his life, which is very much like cinematic and some like those two styles just kind of like are very similar between Humbug and cinematic. Not only is the instrumental style, but the singing style specifically. Like the way he sings, he's not like trying to make it light and airy like he normally does with his music. He's just almost like he's just talking to you. You know, like you're just somebody he knows and he's just talking to you about like, oh, shopping for Christmas is hard. He's just, you know, normal guy, not somebody who's trying to be like create this atmosphere or anything.
Yeah, that's a really good point because creating an atmosphere I feel like would be he would be creating a different situation than something that you would normally experience. And I definitely feel like this is a relatable song, especially as the holidays get closer and you've got Black Friday and everything coming up. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So now that I've had my chance to talk about the actual instrumental part a little bit, I would like to get into the lyrics because this song it's got good lyrics. Okay. You know, my favorite lyric, two of my favorite lines being specifically, how about I jump out the window and singing joy to the world face down in the snow. Those two lines, like for me, that like makes the whole song. It would not be the same song without those two lines. And funny enough, I quote the jumping out the window part quite often, like often enough, like not that line specifically, but I reference it. Let's say I reference it often because okay, I don't know if you picked up on this, but I oftentimes when I'm talking with Sapph, I will joke about being frustrated with like my computer. It seems to be 9 times out of 10 because my computer does not like me usually, and I always joke about wanting to chuck it out the window, and that's in reference to this song basically.
I have not caught that, but now I understand and I see. Yeah, no, I can see where that's happened before. I like this lyric too, especially. I constantly am thinking about this lyric if I have a bad day.
Yes.
Well, how about I jump out the window? That whole vibe is just, it's It's very comedic.
I probably think of this line probably at least once a week, just because it's just for the comedic value.
Even though it's a Christmas song, you're like, once a week at least. This is
Like
not in my
clockwork.
notes. This is not in my notes, but I do want to like bring it up because Humbug is one of those songs that lives rent free in my head. And I constantly, hear it playing just in my brain. And I don't listen to it, but a couple times a year. I don't really pull it out until sometime around Thanksgiving. And so, I don't know, just getting to talk about it, it's really good. Even though it's not something I talk about often because it's a Christmas song. I think there's something really special about it, especially for it to hold so much meaning for not only me and for Faith, but for the Owl City community. It's definitely one of his better songs for sure. But anyways, I if we're talking about the lyrics, the subtle joke about the restaurants is he mentions Red Lobster and Olive Garden, which are owned by the same company. I don't know, it's so funny that he references that. It's like, which one would she prefer? But at the same time, does it really matter because they're owned by the same company? And it makes me laugh quite a lot whenever I hear it. But there's also this little separate melody that follows along the vocals. And I can't really describe it, but I think it emphasizes the joke really, really well. So I wanted to bring that one to light for sure.
I think I know what you're referring to, that little, I can't describe it, but I can kind of hear it, that little line, that little melody right there, that follows the joke, which I don't know if I ever connected those dots before, which is funny. Also, I didn't know that Olive Garden and Red Lobster were owned by the same company.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Yeah, they're owned by the same like overhead company, and so that's why he was like, I could get her a gift card to Olive Garden, or what if Red Lobster is maybe her thing, just because they're the same company, so he's purchasing from the same company anyways. Just depends on what her taste buds like.
See, I never connected those dots because, one, I didn't realize they're owned by the same company. I just thought, like, does she like seafood better or does she like Italian better? And more so like fake Italian, but whatever.
The breadsticks are good.
I would just thought it was like a reference to, like, I don't know what kind of food, because like I thought it was more so a riff on the joke of like guys are always trying to figure out where the girl wants to eat, and like, where do you want to eat? And they're like, I don't care, and they're like, okay, I'll go here, and they're like, oh, I don't want to eat there. I thought it was more so like a riff on that joke.
Yeah, I actually haven't even thought about it that way either. So hey, we're learning things tonight. I can see how that would make sense, and not really knowing what she wants. Nobody knows. Not even we do sometimes.
Yes, that is true. So I don't know. That's just a fun fact. I didn't know that Olive Garden and Red Lobster were owned by the same company. They do give the same vibes though, so that makes sense. They very much just give, like, I don't know.
Posh vibes.
But anyway, moving right along. So of course, this has become like my favorite thing to bring up because it's the only way I can describe some of these lyrics. But is the Owl City cadence. I've got to bring it up. Particularly on the line, like, I don't notice this song having a lot of Owl City cadence, but there's just a couple of lines. And one of those lines is being, I'm ready to wrap that perfect Christmas gift, but I ain't found it yet. It's on the last chorus. The Owl City cadence right there on that line is amazing. It's obsession worthy. I love that line. Sometimes if I don't listen to it, like, fully focused on that line, I have to like rewind the song a little bit just so I can be properly focused on that part because it's such a good part on the song.
This portion of Sapp's audio was unfortunately lost by the recording software. But to fill you in, she probably said something to the effect of, this last line is really sweet. It's the best gift I have to give is my love. And I really like that line.
That is such a cute line. I like that line right there sums up the whole song pretty well. It's like, I don't know what to get you, but here's me. With the kind of that combined with the wrap myself and get under the tree, or however the line goes. I don't know. It's not that, but it's similar. It's just kind of like, oh, that's just like, the most of the song is funny and it's very comedic and humorous, but like those little, like, he just throws in those little lines every once in a while that just like make you like, oh my gosh, this is such a cute song. As we're wrapping up our discussion here soon, I have a few honorable mentions to throw in there about lyrics, because I feel like we've covered a good portion of the lyrics, at least covered a lot of bases. You know, we've got the funny lyrics, we've got the cute lyrics, but I have a few honorable mentions, which is towards the end, where he's like, it's kind of like those very like quiet lyrics, but where he's sorry for the hand towels and sorry for the Yankee candles. I like those lines so much. It's just those two lines also combined with the gift card lines and then like the other random lyrics he throws in there. I think he says something about like a ukulele and like gloves or a scarf or something, and it's like it's very much just like everyday stuff that you would like buy for somebody. Like if you're looking at like gifts for somebody, those are like just normal things you would like gravitate towards. Like, oh, should I get this person a candle? Should I get them a scarf? Should I get them gift cards? You know, it's like it's very much just like as I said, like I mentioned earlier, it kind of fits that cinematic vibe where it's just like this is like normal everyday stuff. He's just a normal guy in this song. So I like that line so much. And then also at the very end of the song where he throws in that little I hate shopping. That's just great. I really enjoy that part too. It's really fun.
That's actually something that I didn't realize was in it till probably I don't know how long it had been, but I'd say at least a year into finding this song, you know, I didn't know that little I hate shopping was in it. And it's one of my favorite little tidbits now, just because you have to be wearing headphones to catch it. Otherwise, you won't hear it because it's so subtle. But it's great.
Mhm.
And one final little knock on to your point, even though I don't have any more points, is sorry for all this useless junk.
Oh yes, I forgot
He
to write
feels-
down that one, but that's
he
another
feels-
good one.
It feels like it's such, like, these are terrible gifts, and yet he's trying to put so much thought into it, and I don't know, just sorry for all this useless junk, I guess. I don't know, it's funny. It's the thought that counts, Adam,
It just-
and you put so much in.
So it's so funny because like I'm a very visual thinker, so like when I'm listening to music it just kind of plays out as a movie in my head, and some of them are a little bit more blurry than others. Like I don't always have like clear like quote unquote music videos in my head for each song, but this one I kind of do, and it's funny because I just imagine this ending, and he's like they're both sitting there with a tree and she's just opening the stuff and he's like sorry, and he like puts his hands up and like sorry, these are bad gifts. But it's funny. Also, I don't know, like Yankee candles is not useless junk. Yankee candles are like top tier gifts right there. Like I don't know what kind of taste Abby has, but like if I got a Yankee candle I'd be quite excited and happy.
I mean, Yankee candles are pretty expensive. I have multiple candles, but I just forget to use them. So for me, it wouldn't be a great gift, but I'm definitely not going to turn it down, you know, because Yankee candles are expensive. So yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I mean, I also imagine Adam just like everything that he mentioned throughout the song he got, and so she's just opening all these like random gifts on Christmas. Just like, sorry for all the useless junk, I didn't know what to get you, so I got everything I could think of.
And then finally, he's under the tree, wrapped up in paper.
That's also another funny image to think about.
There's just a little side note, but there is a episode of VeggieTales where quite literally Larry wraps himself up, and the silly song is great to go along with it. I can't remember what it's called, but that's the image I see. But just replace Larry the cucumber with Adam. But
That's a good image.
we can move
Adam,
on
is
now
Larry the
whenever you're
cucumber
ready.
confirmed?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I think that sums up our thoughts on Humbug. And before we fully sum up our thoughts and close out the episode, we shall jump into shuttle bus math. Sapph, how would you rank Humbug on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10? If you really don't like it, you could give it a 0. So technically 0 is on the scale.
It is on the scale, but I'm not leaning towards giving a 0. I really enjoy Humbug, and again, like I said, it's one of those songs that I pull out at least a couple times for the year, and I just enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. It's really nice. I would give it a 10, even though I forgot to write down my my ranking this afternoon, but I would give it a 10 just because of that layering aspect. and because of the creative lyrics. I think that's really, really something. And he does it so well. He mixes the styles of the music well. Just overall, phenomenal job.
I agree. I also ranked it a 10 out of 10 because it is indeed a 10 out of 10 song. I don't have much explanation for it beyond that. It's good. Adam did a good job.
He did.
I appreciate it.
He did do a very good job. He did.
He do good.
He do good. Good job, Adam. Thank you, Adam, for blessing us with a amazing, beautiful Christmas song.
Yes. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us for the 18th episode of Shuttlebus Podcast. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram at shuttlebus_podcast for more Owl City related content. Right along with us next episode as we continue celebrating the holidays and discuss Kiss Me Babe, It's Christmas Time. For now, this is Sapph
And Faith.
saying goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody,
Merry Christmas.
and Merry Christmas.
Woo!